In the quiet town of Tuam, Ireland, nestled between green hills and modern apartments, lies a secret buried for decades. Beneath concrete, silence and shame. What was once considered holy ground has become the focus of one of the darkest scandals in Irish history, a mass grave of children. Not from war, not from disaster, but from within the walls of a Catholic-run home for unwed mothers. This is the story of the bond seeker's mother and baby home, and the 796 infants whose final resting place may be a septic tank. From 1925 to 1961, the bond seeker's mother and baby home operated in Tuam, County Galway. It was run by Catholic nuns from the Bond Seekers Order, a name that ironically translates to good help. The home was a destination for fallen women, a label slapped on unwed mothers, victims of rape, incest, or simply those abandoned by their families. These women were sent here to give birth in secret, hidden away from society's judgment. After delivery, most were forced to stay for a year, doing unpaid labor to atone for their supposed sins. Their babies, raised by the nuns, then often given up for adoption, sometimes without consent. On the surface, it was a place of redemption. But behind those doors, records, testimonies, and bones tell a different story. In 2014, a local historian named Catherine Corliss began digging into the past. What she found were death certificates, 798 in total, for children who had died at the Tuam home. But something was missing. Burial records, only 2 of those. Children were buried in local cemeteries. The rest, no trace. No graves, no headstones. Her research led her to an old rumor from 1975, when boys playing on the grounds discovered a concrete slab. Beneath it, they saw small skeletons, packed tightly together. Authorities dismissed it as famine-era bones, but Corliss knew better. The septic tank, or what became known as the pit, was located near the former laundry house. A crude, dark cistern that had once served the home's plumbing. Investigators now believe this was repurposed by the nuns as a mass grave. Infants and toddlers who died from malnutrition, neglect, disease, even medical experiments, some survivors say, were wrapped, or not at all, and dumped into the tank. No funeral, no rites, no names. A place designed for waste became a grave for innocence. Annette McKay never knew her sister, Mary Margaret. She only knew the story her mother told. After being raped at 17, Margaret O'Connor was sent to Bon Secours. 6 months after giving birth, she was folding laundry when a nun approached. The child of your sin is dead. That's all she was told. No explanation, nobody. Stories like this aren't rare. They're woven into the fabric of Ireland's institutional history. Magdalen laundries, industrial schools, and other homes run by church and state. The Tuam grave is just one chapter. One we can't ignore. It wasn't until 2022, nearly a century after the home opened, that Ireland passed a law allowing excavation of the Tuam site. In 2025, work finally began. A team of forensic experts, anthropologists, and volunteers began the grim task of identifying what's left. Most remains may be no more than fragments, cartilage, teeth, bone dust. But for the families, even a thimbleful, as one woman said, would be enough. Enough to say goodbye, enough to bring them home. The children of Tuam never had a voice, but in the silence they left behind a question we all must face. What happens when institutions designed to protect become the architects of horror? And how many more stories like theirs lie buried beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered? If you found this story important, don't let it be forgotten. Like, share, comment with your thoughts, and if you're able, support survivor organizations seeking justice for those lost in Ireland's mother and baby homes.